Why?
So now you answered a lot of things from the community. These are the questions from the community. And as you said, because I am part of this politics, I know a lot of things that what you mentioned, mostly I know all of them. Can you tell me something I don't know? I want to know something that I don't know. Anything, not regarding me, anything in the game, or anything you want to put on the table to tell the community. Because as you know, this should opening a new page, going to a new round with a new page, leaving everything behind us and start something new. So tell me something I don't know. Make me a little bit excited, Abu. You have a lot of things. Excite me, please. Look, I had
a lot of what we did was known by a lot of people. We don't really have that much hidden, honestly.
But you are always accused by hiding things and being the snake and being
okay, this might be something. Well, it's gonna be surprising. I don't really know. We were blamed for all the shootings and cruelest shootings, and while we had a hand in 70–80% of them, not all of them was ours, but I used that to my advantage. I wanted TSE to have a notorious image. I wanted people to be worried, to be afraid when they're dealing with us. I wanted our friends to feel safe and trusted and they're in good hands. And I wanted our enemies to be very, very worried and to know that if they do go against us, we are going to be very difficult to win against. So some of the shootings, the cruelest shootings, especially the ones that we've been blamed for, it wasn't really us. We weren't the only ones who were shooting cruelest. And some of the instances, I'll just be straight up and say it, and I hope they don't take it personal. The family would safest with us and shoot cruelest. And then someone comes up with a topic and says like, fuck the SE, they're shooting cruelest. But I wouldn't even try to explain. I would just like go with it and let people think that we do shoot all that, because there is an advantage to having a notorious image.
Okay, since you mentioned the safe listing, a lot of members of the community or the players don't know anything about how this happens. Can you please explain I know well how it works, but people don't work. Can you please tell me how safe listing work?
Well, I'll first start with the reason why we shoot troops or suspected players. When you have a lot of enemies who are trying to hide underground. And I'll give a prime example about how TSE ended up shooting loads of people from the underground. And I'll give an example about Coasty and 23rd Gunslingers. And when at the beginning, when these shooters from UG would shoot us, we could easily track them because not a lot of people were dying. But when Coasty decided to switch 23rd's game style into taking contracts, and he took a contract to shoot one of TSE members, I knew that if the game started to see that Coasty or 23rd can achieve shooting us without us striking them back, then it would cause a lot of trouble to us, because it will look like we have an opening in our armor, and that would not be good. So I needed to make sure I would hit them, and I would hit them back hard. And they were very good at hiding in the underground. So that's how safe listing starts. When you want to target a specific crew, you try to safe list with all other crews that are not related to them. For example, TRF. If I know that I want to target 23rd, for example, and I know TRF does not work with 23rd, I would like send you a list of names that I suspect to be 23rd. It might be 20, 30, 40 names. And I send it to you. And what you do is, if you find one of the names on that list that belongs to TRF, you would remove that name. And I do this with Axezy, I do this with the family, I do this with any friendly crew that I would like to safe list with. And everyone removes their UG names, and I take these names and it'll be kind of filtered out. And then my chances of hitting the target that I want, which is 23rd in that time, would increase a lot. The problem with this strategy, yeah.
No, you can keep going.
The problem with this strategy is two things. The first thing is I start knowing the underground names of all these major crews. And
This is what I want to ask you.
when I start knowing all the names of your UG lists, it like kind of puts my hand on your neck. And by the way, it's
Yes.
vice versa, because other people shoot through this and they safe list with me, so they start knowing my UG. That would limit the people who have their name exposed, that it's not UG anymore. It's not underground, it's not hidden. They can't do whatever they want with it. So it puts them in a very tight situation where I am in a strong position where you are vulnerable to me. And it gives me a lot of strength. This
Because
is one
you mentioned
thing.
Because you mentioned this, I'll be honest and tell you about something I just remind now. I remember I was maybe shooting TU, I think. So I was safe listing with Mary. I sent him a name. I sent a name to Mary to clear if I can shoot or no. And he said, don't shoot. I think the name was The Rock.
I
still
remember the issue, yes. And he
Yeah,
turned out to shoot XTs. I remember that.
Yeah.
And you came and
And
tried to
I-
blackmail you. And I told you, fuck off, go do whatever you want. I remember that.
And I told Axis, by the way. I told them.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. I wonder why no one made anything against you except of TF, because I know what TF did.
Well, there is also more shit to be said from our side. What?
Yeah. Maybe Axis did something and I don't know about it.
Oh, they
We have-
definitely did. They definitely did.
I have a guest from Ecstasy. He will be here, and I ask him all these questions, of course. So now I'll throw back a little bit back to where we were
Wait.
speaking.
There is one point to the safe listing
Yeah.
issues. I told you there's 2 points. One of them is I get to know all the UG name. The other problem is the collateral damage. The collateral damage is that when there's like 30, 40 names that I suspect to have maybe 10 people from the crew target that I want to shoot, which is, for example, 23rd. And okay, there's maybe 10, but there's like 20 or 30 other people that will die that isn't with the crew that I'm attacking.
Yes,
So this is the problem with that. You have to spend more resources, shoot more people, and get more enemies because you're shooting people who are not involved in this war. And I believe there was a lot of propaganda done to try to unite these people who are dying from the collateral damage so that they would attack us. And I think they managed to recruit a good number of people, but eventually we kept having to shoot them over and over and over again to avoid getting shot back from them. And that's how you ruin the community, honestly, because you don't give them a chance. They just keep dying. And that's why protection was introduced by Kyle in its current form, or even in the previous ones.
I don't want to mention this because also this ruined everything, in my opinion. But we'll talk about this. Yeah.
It does, but give me a solution. Give me another solution. If you are at war,
no solution for this. I know.
You have to choose one of lesser evils. You either choose like people who are attacking you can remain underground, and we didn't start the shooting from underground. People started shooting at us in the beginning a lot. So what do? We either like say, okay, we won't do anything, and we keep getting shot and shot and shot over and over, or we shoot the people who are shooting us, but there will be collateral damage. So no, I will choose the SE every single time, and I will ruin it every single time. But if you ask me about next round, I want to change this strategy, but I don't know how effective it's going to be. But we'll
Okay,
see.
so just to make things clear for the community, so you shot underground from underground. You didn't shoot from TSA spot.
Yes. That's mostly how it goes. Not because
I also
collateral.
do the same.
The reason, I'll give you the reason. Well, mostly because you do not want the collateral damage to lead back to you.
Yeah.
Because then they would form up a complete team together and they'll come for you. But the problem is at the scale that TSA grew up, that any coolest shooting that took place was blamed on us. So even if we were not the people who shot these people, we knew that they will come back and shoot us. And that's what really happened. There were cases where there's an underground shooting that's not taking place by TSE, and the people who die blame TSE, and on their next account, they come and shoot TSE. So when there's a lot of blame towards a strong side, and this is what happens when you grow too much and people start talking about you, you get blamed for all these things. And when you get blamed for it, you get blamed for things that you didn't do, and you end up getting involved in war. That's basically
Yeah,
why our last war with MC happened. CC, not MC, sorry, with Copula. They were my good friends, and we were actually very good. When I retired, they got shot a few times, and they kept blaming me, and I kept telling, "Oh shit, man, it was not me," but he wouldn't believe me, and he would keep throwing shit at me. So eventually, I told
yeah,
him, "You want to see how it would be when I go to war with you? So I will." So I told him, "I'm going to declare war on you, and let's go to war." And we went to that last war where you sent UG shooters, TF joined the war, and other crews did. Yeah, you're a devil. Bastard. But yeah, it's how it is. That's how it goes. When you grow to a certain extent in a game and you get blamed for everything, there is no other solution. It just
okay.
it just keeps
So,
going deeper and deeper.
yeah. So let's go back to where you were speaking about the alliance and all these things.
Hmm.
I think this will be 2 episodes. I didn't expect this show to be this long with you, but it's like things taking another thing. We're going into something and taking us to something else, which is nice. I don't mind if we do it 2 episodes, honestly.
We can split it. We can split it.
Yeah, what I care honestly is like community should understand how we deal with each other. We should deliver this message, since I think there was never something like this on Bootleggers where people can see leaders speaking to each other,
And
showing how they.
being open
Yeah,
about it and admitting things, because
and
people don't admit.
I really respect your honesty, because you are being honest, and I know you are honest because I know a lot of things under the table, and I know what you are mentioning is honest, regardless that people blame you on many things. I know it wasn't you who did this. Same for me. I also was like blamed for many things that I really didn't do. All this round, I didn't do anything except shooting TSA from underground and my wars that because I faced a lot of wars this with the TU, with Sector Zero, with I think Devil's Advocate.
There's
Uh,
something people don't know.
yeah,
Who helped you with those wars, Hadi? Do you remember?
with those wars, which
Mm-hmm.
one?
The war on Sector Zero. Did I give you
Friends.
shooters or not? No, before friends. I gave you gold to help you shoot. We gave you shooters to shoot. Now you forgot, Hadi.
What
Looking
I
at me as
remember,
if you don't know.
friends. No, no, no.
I gave you gold, man.
What I remembered is that yes.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You gave me gold. I remember. Yes.
And we gave you
That,
shooters as well. And also, when you wanted to buy Friend's crew spot, you did not have enough gold. I also gave you gold to buy the crew spot. See,
yes.
I do good with you. Yeah, but you just
Yes.
forget. You just say it's all
I
shit and
remember.
horrible.
Yes, I remember this. That's true. But the friends helped me against Sector Zero to wipe them.
I remember.
Uh,
Yeah.
we shot
They
them.
like to shoot. Friends enjoy shooting.
We were low ranks. We shot the low ranks in Sector Zero, and friends
Finish them off.
finished.
I remember.
Yeah. So let's go back to these alliances you were speaking about. Let's speak in more like the core alliances where like I want the community to understand, like for me, for example, for me, if I had my member had an issue with any spot, any crew, whatever it is, for me, I have 2 guys. I go to them first thing. For me, I go, it's even AbuRagheb or Strat, because AbuRagheb has his own like people and friends and side, and TF represented by Strat has their own people. So whenever I have a problem, I go to only these 2 people. This is what people don't understand. So for me, if you ask me, I'll say maybe 3, 4, or 5 people who can run the game. They don't control the game, but they can finish for you anything in the game or sort anything.
Influence.
Just
They have a lot of influence.
yeah. Can
Yeah,
you speak for me about this, or can you explain this for the community, how it works, how like you go to certain people to sort some things, which is like the community have, I think, at the max 250 users online, I think.
well, no, there's more, but at a certain time it goes from 120 to 250, 300 maximum. But maybe there's 1,000 players maximum. All going
Maybe
on.
you can see
I don't
300.
know.
Oh, by the way, I want to show you something, because people talks a lot about like where do you guys talk, or where do you guys speak, or how do you communicate other than boot mails, or
WhatsApp.
other than yeah.
Most of
I want to
my
show
communication.
I want to show the community something. If this is my phone, I don't know, if I type bootleggers, the contacts are
You
like
get all the contacts.
I have 236 contacts from bootleggers on my WhatsApp. These are all bootleggers WhatsApp people. I never send a boot mail. All these are bootleggers.
Yeah,
So
book mail. I barely use it. Only to send for someone on classifieds, to buy scraps, or to do a NUSI or something. Or to ask for a WhatsApp number. That's why I use boot. But mostly, I don't use boot mail at all. Discord
by
a
the way,
little bit, but not so much.
yeah, I don't use Discord. I'm fine. I also don't accept anyone into TRF without WhatsApp, because I have a lot of numbers, so I can see who is this guy and his history. And the good thing for me that my WhatsApp is backed up since 2015. So I have chats since 2015. So if you would try to lie to me, I'll go back to your chat since 2016, 17.
I'm
So
okay
be
with
careful.
it.
Yeah, I know, I
More
know.
than
I
this,
told you,
I'm not
I
careful
told
at
you
all right
you're
now.
honest. I'm trying to put you in the corner, but you're being honest, honestly. So I have to
Why?
say,
I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be honest. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So explain for me this alliance and how it worked, and how did you start to, when did like the, can we say the demise of TSE? Because at the end of this round, like back into 4 or 5 months, we saw like TSE was getting this flame down. We didn't hear a lot about TSE.
Because we were retired. That's the major answer. We only got out of our retirement for the war with CC. We are retired. We don't want to play. We're not back. When we're back, we will play full force and go on stats. But mostly we were just messing around after we really retired. But if you want to look at what TSE is, that was from the beginning of this round till the day we decided to retire, stop playing. But anyway,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Keep going, keep going.
I want to go to the point of alliances and how they work, because I do have a lot of experience in this and I've been in a lot of alliances throughout the years. In my opinion, there's two kinds of alliances. There's the alliances that are built on hate and mutual enemies, which is the one that's most widespread in the game over the years. That a strong crew would come out, they would dominate, and because no one can fight on their own against this dominant side, they team up with other crews who are being dominated against this mutual enemy, and they start up an alliance to stop the power of the crew dominant. And there's the other kind of alliance which I worked on this round, which is built completely different. It's not built on mutual enemies. Because in my opinion, if you have an alliance that's just built on mutual enemies, okay, we work together. But when we stop the enemy and they get
But
weaker,
they are,
but they turn on each other and yeah, it doesn't work out. So this round, it was completely different. We did not build our alliance based on mutual hatred for a side. We built it on proper basics and basis. And if you look at it, every crew in the alliance has their own story with TSE separate. TSE and TU has their own story. TSE and MC, they have their own story. And I briefly talked a bit about both of these. And then I'm gonna now go to how it worked with Death Valley. And with Death Valley, it started off with a problem with Coast. After T23rd took the bullet factory from Pinot's, and they claimed it at their own, they decided to do this mercenary contract thing and go underground. And they wanted refunds. So they went to Death Valley and they told them, we will sell you the bullet factory, but we need to keep refunds. But we don't want the whole game to know. So they agreed that they would tell the game that they sold the bullet factory to Death Valley for 10,000 gold, while they actually just paid 5,000 and just to take refunds. So my relationship with Dead Rabbit, especially and Death Valley, is really good. We were in many alliances together, except for last round a little bit, but that's for another story. I'll explain it later. And we were talking together that we do want to work together this round. So when this happened, I told them that I do have doubts that 23rd did not give you the bullet factory without any reason, and if they're taking refunds. And my relationship with Dead Rabbits is very good. I don't leak what he tells me, and he doesn't leak what I tell him. So we do trust each other in that regard. So he told me the truth, and I told him that I need to ask you for a favor to stop the refunds against 23rd. But we agreed to do it in a way where I will hit 23rd, where it hurts before I stop the refunds from, so that that value doesn't get blamed before TSE does, because it's the war between TSE and 23rd and not Death Valley. So what we did was I got a complete list of suspected 23rd. I shot all of them, and Death Valley didn't tell anything to 23rd. And when they kept melting more and more and more, when they came to send for refunds, Dead Rabbits cut it off from them. And it started a big problem between those two. So what we did is we swapped TSE's bullet factory with Death Valley's bullet factory.
This is the first time I hear this story. Honestly, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, what we did was we swapped the bullet factories so that 23rd would see that the relationship between Death Valley and TSE was great. So we just swapped bullet factories. And we held their bullet factories and they held ours. And I think Kosti he understood what was happening. It took him a few days until he came to Dead Rabbits and had a fight with him. And when that happened, I went straight out to Kosti and told him, you can't just shoot us and take contracts and expect us not to just lay dead and wait for you to just shoot whenever you want and consider this war between us. And we shot all the suspected people on our list, and I think it was 28 players that we shot, and I do think we hit at least 12 to 15 people out of this. And then it became a war. Later on, yeah.
Sorry. Is there anything else you want to mention about this before I want to go to like the ending of this episode about talking about the game in general? The tweaks,
hold on. Let me finish up because it's related to that. So basically what happened is TSE started working with TU on its own. TSE started working with MC on its own. TSE started working with Death Valley and their own very independent storm crews on their own with us. And we had mutual interests and we wanted to work together. We put trust in these crews and they helped us, and they put trust in us and we helped them at the same time. So it was mutually beneficial to all of us. So when things started to grow, we decided we are big enough and let's do this and become a complete alliance altogether, because the relationship between MC, Death Valley, and TU wasn't strong. They barely knew each other. They weren't enemies, but they weren't friends either. So we all talked to each individual crew on its own. They agreed to start this alliance with us, and we all joined up into this alliance. So that's why when you wanted to talk to someone, the alliance would go to me or TSE, because we're the ones who have good relationships with all of these groups. And then we started organizing our plans all together. And all of these crews trusted us and did not trust each other because they did not know them, and trust was built between them over time. But this is why we were in the center. That's why you say it was all TSE, because this is what happened. We worked with each of them individually, and then we all were put in together into an alliance where we knew everyone and everyone trusted us in the alliance, but did not know each other. So we made sure we keep. Also, the safe listing was all done by us. We're the ones who made all the lists, and with the safe listing between each other, no one knew each other's names. We had TU's names, UG names, we had MC's UG names, we had Death Valley's UG names, but we would not share them with each other. Like Death Valley did not know TU's underground names. TU did not know MC's UG names. And that's how it was. So we were the center of intelligence and knowledge. You know, knowledge is power. And we had a
Yeah.
relationship with each other. That's why.
Is there anything you like to mention before we go to another subject?
Go ahead.
Can you tell me now, let's talk about, let's leave this politics. I think we talked about a lot of things about you personally, about TSC, about Alliance. I want to ask you about bootleggers in general now, with the new update, with the new items, a lot of perks here and training, criminal bar, all this. What do you think should be changed? What do you think ruined bootleggers? What do you think is good in these updates? Me, honestly, on me personally, there's a lot of things I don't like in the new update, but I need to adapt and keep going. So I would like to know from you what do you think is good or bad, and what do you think should be changed also in this game?
Well, I put a lot of thought into this, and I was thinking about writing a buzz article about it with details, but I don't know if I'll be able to go with it. Yeah, because I don't know if I'll be heard from Kyle or if the staff would actually implement these. But I do have a few ideas. First of all, deposit boxes, which everyone's talking about, everyone agrees it should be used. My idea is the boxes idea is really nice. I really like it. But I think bullets should not go over 150 to 200,000 bullets maximum. Just enough for you to be able to do one more shot. When you die, you are supposed to lose something.
Yes.
You are
Now you
supposed
lose.
to.
Now you lose nothing. Now you lose
Nothing.
nothing.
You lose. Yeah, you lose rank, and if you work really hard, you can make dawn in a day or two.
Don't
And
forget you have mana, so you lose nothing.
that's my other point. Mana should be removed completely.
Yes.
And I understand it's an event thing. So I have another recommendation on how to deal with this. I don't think any event items or mana or any of those things, features that are added, they should always have an expiry date. They can go on for 2 weeks, they can go on for a month. That is a must. It should not be till the end of the round. It should expire. So you can use these features, you can get these benefits, but you can only use them whenever you want. Yeah, you can use them while, let's say if you're at war, you can use it for a week, mana. It will be beneficial, but it will not ruin a round.
Or you can use it one time for this account, for example.
Or something like this, but it needs to be. That goes for everything. So my idea is, I think the Notoriety store has a lot of potential. And I was even like talking with Kosti when he went to smoke a cigarette just now on the way. And I gave him that idea. The idea is there should be added to the statistics page a milestone section where people, when they reach a milestone and be the first to reach that milestone, that their names will be put up on the statistics page as that. For example, first to rank to boss district. The first to do that, he gets his name as on the milestone section, and they get a reward of notoriety points.
Yeah, that's nice.
These milestones, they get your name on the statistics page as well. They give you notoriety points, and they're not just individual accomplishments for the players, but also for crews. For example, if you reach 30 billion revenue, first crew to win 3 periods this round, they also get a milestone. So it kind of gives players and crews something to work for to try to get. And once all the milestones are done, you could say that the round is at a point where it's ready for a reset. Because I do believe resets should not go way too long. A year, maybe 2 years, but more than that, it's kind of too prolonged and it needs to be reset.
Since you mentioned, sorry.
Let me just,
thank you.
One last point.
Of course, keep going, sorry.
The notoriety store, I think, after an event is made and there's items that is available, these items will become available also on the notoriety store. So, notoriety store, other than going and having a meal in Atlantic City, You can also get it through doing milestones and missions, in my opinion, would be a great bonus for that. So let's say mana, it expires, Kyle makes an event, you get spears. Okay, you use your spear, it's done. Maybe after 3 months, 4 months, you get enough notoriety points, you can buy a spear. People who missed on the event can even use these. So it kind of makes sense. And also, if missions do give notoriety points, it's a very good way for people who die to catch back up into the game after they lose their hard-earned rank. For example, they reached on, Eldon, and they die. They lose everything. Since the deposit box won't have a lot of bullets left in it, they're gonna lose a lot. But what they do is they have to start the missions all over again. And when they do the missions, they get more notoriety points. And if they get more notoriety points, they get the advantage of buying these items from the events that would help them rank faster or shoot more people or do whatever. So it kind of gives different kind of balance into the game.
Since you mentioned now the periods and the round, I want to ask you about what's your expectation or what's your view about this period. I'll tell you a little bit what I think about this periods and what you win when you win a period. First of all, regarding that, you need to be like jumping to everyone to stay safe to win a period, because if you are at war, you will never win a period. So you always need
That's
to
not
be
true.
safe.
That's not true. We did it. It's very difficult.
Can you
But
tell me how
yeah.
can you, if you are at war and you have the highest rank is boss for you, how can you win a period?
You can. But
Okay,
sometimes, yeah, true. But still, if you are a war crew, it doesn't mean that you can't win things. The thing is,
but you need to make peace to win.
yes,
At
but
least
that's the
for a certain
thing.
At a certain time, you make peace, you win the round or period, and then you go to the war. But also,
that's the thing.
if you go to economics, I think these prizes are like inflating the game. Like if you see each period, Kyle injects 80,000 gold for top 1, 2, 3. Now I think this round he made like 10 or 11 periods, I think. So that's approximately 800,000 gold into the game. I remember all days, like if I had like a crew had 10k gold, these are the boss of the game with 10k gold. Now, if you go, you see any member, any player, anyone, a normal member, with respect to all members, of course, any member now has like 10 or 20k gold. We know now like a crews who have 200,000. I know personally, MWO, I saw it on his phone. MWO reached 1 million gold. So if I was looking at like 1 million gold, man, what do you use them? 1 million gold for what? Can you tell me what do you do?
Let me tell you the difference between previous rounds and this round. In previous rounds, shooting a same rank, let's for example say you're LGF and you want to shoot an LGF, it will cost you around 30,000 points.
Yes.
You need 1,000 gold to get 50,000 points. So
yes,
in relation to each other, 1k gold can nearly kill someone within your rank or a bit above.
But do you not use now gold for bullets? You have boxes.
You can't.
Don't need
because if you fix the deposit boxes, it will balance itself out. At the beginning of this round, there was no deposit boxes.
Yeah.
So gold was still difficult because
I can stock scraps and buy them. I told you when I went to war against you, I had only 4,000 or 5,000 gold.
Yes, but you were very slow.
And I fight it for 3 months, and I didn't use gold for shooting bullets. I remember all round, I used to grind like hell doing booze run. Booze runs is just make money and gold because I wanted to shoot through gold. I could stock first. So it was so easy to
make
a lot
more
war.
difficult. But at the same time, this way gives access to more people to have food, which I'm not really against. But I wanted to go through a bit of numbers. From your most active members, how many scraps a day can they get without the cigarettes and all those drinks and all of those puffs?
I think it's if you have a high ranks in your crew, I think every player can make easily 200 scrap a day. Let's say
No,
100.
but that's with the drinks, with the mana, with the cigarettes.
Yes.
These
Yes.
makes it possible. But if these are buffed, no, it won't be.
No.
And
Yeah, of
that's the
course. If you,
idea.
I think maybe 40 or 50.
Kyle opened like a big pipe of shit into the game this round. He threw
Yes.
deposit boxes overpowered. He threw meals. He threw all the bars. He threw cigarettes. He threw all of these shit items everywhere. And of course, if you want to focus on scraps, you're gonna make 300, 400 scraps a day. This is gonna give you a lot, but that's not how it's supposed to be. It needs to be difficult to acquire these things. Even bars.
I'm also against giving all perks to everyone. Like crew people should have their own perks. Underground should have their own perks. Like not everyone can have everything. Like if you see now this in this shop where you can buy the extra 10 or 15% for you to be found in the search.
Yeah.
For me on a crew, on a crew, I want to defend my crew. When an underground shooter want to shoot me, the only thing that I can protect is to wait until one of my guys die. I run. I get the witness statement and I start searching. That's the only way to defend. I don't have any other way to defend myself because there's protection and there's everything. So I can do anything before this. So like I pay 15 million for the PI and I sit and wait.
And then you die before you find him. Yeah,
like I'll give you an example. Not long ago, we were shooting this protein guy. There was a guy called Lasky, I think. Lasky has this 15 or 20% extra to find him. We had 6 shooters searching him, man. He wiped us all before we even find him. Like this was, I found him on 57 minutes, man. So I was just like sitting, looking at my crew collapsing, and I can't do anything. And
let me give you the other perspective. Let's say I'm a shooter and I want to wipe a 25-man crew with full layers. I need to shoot 8 to open the first layer.
Yes.
And these 8, they all have the 15% extra time. Do you know the headache that you need to go through to wipe a crew and organize this wipe before you get caught by them fast searching you? Man, I've done a lot of crew wipes. Without the 15%, it's insane. It's already difficult. You know what we used to do? In the beginning of the round, 15 million is very difficult to acquire. You can't do like you do right now. Right now, resources are thrown left and right. You just don't care about the 15 million. You put $1 billion into fast searches and you don't give a shit. But with us, when you say
I beg people for 15 million to search.
15 million is a lot of money early in the round. And you simply can't. We used to wipe crews on first and second PI. And later in the game, when like 15 million became like a normal number to use, we would specify certain targets to certain shooters with 15 million so that we would use the amount of fast searches that we want to do so we can win. Man, when you put, it's insane, man. When you want to put $1 billion into searches over several shooters, man, it's impossible to wipe a crew unless you're really sleeping, all your crew sleeping with one shooter. It's impossible, especially at the beginning of the round. Man, the minimum to wipe a crew that is active, you need 3 and you need to get lucky as hell. And that's if you don't fail any targets you shoot. Because if they have bodyguards, there is a chance you will fail at least 1 or 2 out of the 25 people. So now think of it. When you start searching everyone and they have 15% search extension, which makes it even much worse to get people within the same layer. Do you know how difficult it is to finish layer 1 and go to layer 2, then go to layer 3, and then go to the camp? And you have people who will fail shoots. You have people who will find one in layer 3 and then it expires before you find one in layer 1. Man, it's a headache. And personally, I'll tell you, I've been on the other hand of getting shot, and I've been the one shooting. Players, as they are, in my opinion, are good enough. You don't need to make it worse. You don't need to make it better. It is as good in the balance as it is. But to go back to the point that you're taking, where you're saying some things should be accessible to certain people, like in crews, but not to everyone. I don't agree because the mechanics that is put in front of us right now, it gives you a bar of energy that you have to do several things. So it gives you the option to decide whether you want to do crimes, you want to do GTA, you want to train your gun, or you want to do gym. So when this happens, so imagine it at the beginning of the run, you start this run, you rank to third. Now you want to decide, do I want to make extra money? Okay, maybe I should just steal cars and sell them for gold. Okay, others say no, I don't want to make a lot of money or gold. I want to rank quickly, so they stick to crimes. Your underground sector in TRF wants to prepare for shooting, so they start training their guns. Also, guns give you benefits to help you rank faster or steal more cars. So you have to also use the energy for that. The gym, you can use it for stamina. Stamina makes you rank faster, but you slow down at the beginning and then it gives you benefits. So on the long run, if you want to go to Elgon, you should start with the gym and stamina. So now, because we've never experienced it, we don't really think about it.
Don't you think it's complicated and there's a lot of things to do?
I do, but I do think that the things he needs to simplify are the event items that make it a horrible pain in the ass, the mana. These things I don't believe should be a part of the core game. But crimes, GTAs, the crime bar, the energy bar, that's not so difficult. You can download any game on the store, Android or Apple Store, and you will have the same idea where you just keep clicking, clicking, clicking. The difference is Bootleggers isn't just between you and the game itself. It's not a single player game, it's a multiplayer where you have to race with others, which gives it a very nice advantage. But I really think he needs to reduce that kind of shit. And I also think there's no need for local banks. It should be just one bank. Why do you give us 7 deposit boxes? Where I throw my money in this box, I put bullets in this one, I put this in here. Why? Just make it one and reduce the amount or increase the amount of money or items. Do something from that. I don't. This is an unnecessary complication. Several deposit boxes. Why? So I don't think
So,
there's a need.
so as this episode was really nice, now I think it's time for us to recap everything. Um, if you want to say anything, you're welcome. I want to ask you about like how are you preparing for next round? What are you
I'm just
planning
gonna
for?
keep it short. How exactly? I'm not really sure. But
Yeah, no one made started.
yeah, but no, I want to be honest about something. I believe TSC and me specifically, I need to do something for the community. We haven't been very,
Sorry, can you repeat? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
me personally and TSC as a whole needs to do things for the community. We've been playing this game for a really long time, and I'll admit, and you can say guilty as usual. Oh, well, it's this way. We what we did help with the community as being part of the game, but really we hurt a lot of people, and I'm not really happy about that. And I do believe that we need to give back to the community in some way. How exactly, I'm not sure. I joined the bus hoping to do that, but I think we should start giving back to the community so that we can enjoy this game more than more. But of course, I don't want to just become part of the staff. I want to play the game and enjoy it. I'm rethinking the safe listing strategy. You know, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I need to figure something out to ruin the game less for the people who aren't involved in the war and like not ruin it for everyone.
Abu, I was really excited in this. I heard new things I didn't know about. I'm sure the community also don't know about it. I'm happy that I have a friend like you playing Bootleggers. Even if you are my enemy, at least I know that my enemy is respectful. I don't mind to fight you forever, honestly, because I know where's the limits. I know I can stop the war with you. I know I can talk to you whenever I can, and I can build bridges. Uh, we tweak each other a little bit sometimes,
But
which
it's
is
for
not,
fun. It's to have fun.
yeah,
It's not
of
personal.
course.
It's never personal.
I tease you, you tease me, you break me someplace, I backstab you someplace. I'm happy with you being my enemy, honestly. I will tell you good luck. You are one of the best players in bootleggers, in my opinion,
Thank
at
you.
least.
I appreciate
Uh,
your opinion. Coming from you, it's big
yeah,
for me. Thank you.
I really admit it. You are even a lot of other players. I hope you'll keep playing this game. I hope things that you mentioned would be better or changed. And I think I'll have you in another episode with like 3 or 4. This will be a surprise. We'll have a confession chair, but it will be versus people versus each other. I don't want to ruin it now and say the surprise, but I tell you that you will be back with us on another episode, and you will be face to face against a lot of your enemies. I was a little bit smooth with you. Some other people, I think this page will be like 4 or 5 windows, people shouting at each other and fighting each other. So you'll be
Yeah,
back with me.
chaotic.
I'm so happy for this show. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the delay for the first time on this show, but it was our first time. I would really, really thank all the Buzzcast team. Everyone did a lot. Uh, I read a post on the crew on the forums about there's a lot of Buzzcast writers. Honestly, everyone did a big job to do this show. Some people were editing, some people are recording, some people are doing the visuals. I would really thank everyone. I would also thank the staff for giving us this chance to make this show. I'll be with you next week in a new episode, and this will never end. It will keep going to the next round with a new shows. This is the confession chair, but next round we will have a new show with a new concept. Uh, I hope we didn't bother any one of you. See you in the next episode and have a good night.
Good night. Enjoy it.